Hello and welcome in. Mark here, aka the Markster. This is video number 58 in the FreeCAD series. In the last three videos, we've been looking at these part design features here. And today we're going to be looking at the sweep or additive pipe. I'll be using 0.19 revision 20036. And this is on Windows 10, and that's a development release. So the sweep tool is one that allows you to sweep a profile along a path. Let's go ahead and create a profile. And for this first one, I'll just make a rectangle like so. And now we'll create a path. And I think I'll use this tool. That ought to be a challenging path. And we need to map our profile. Start right there. And let's see if we can go ahead and do this sweep. Okay, so clearly we have some issues here. So what went wrong? Well, it's not adjusting and staying normal to the path. Double click here to bring it back up. Let's choose corner transition, right corner. That looks a lot better. So we're making a right corner turn, or I guess it would be a left corner if you were going that direction. Another option here is round corner. I guess they mean right corner, mean a right angle. So this adds a little fillet to it. So if you have a little bit of a jagged path, those are the two options to use. I'll hide that body and create a new one. This time let's use an arc for a path. And maybe a triangle for a profile. Let's map this one to our path. Use FreeNet NB. And let's do this sweep. That worked well. Let's try the fixed mode, see what happens. So what does the fixed mode do different from the standard mode? The fixed mode, it has to do with the orientation of the profile. So as this sketch moves along, in standard mode, it remains normal to or perpendicular to the path. But in fixed mode, it doesn't change. It keeps its same orientation all the way through. And you get these self-intersections. The standard mode, as the sketch moves along through, as it moves along through this edge here, through this path, it remains normal to that path. This, by the way, is the map path parameter. It's a value between 0 and 1 that puts the object along its path that it's mapped to. 0 being the beginning, 1 being the end. So essentially what the sweep is doing is changing this map parameter from 0 to 1 and creating a solid all along the way. If you don't see that option, right click here and choose show all. In some versions it's not shown. Show all shows a lot of additional properties that are less commonly used. Alright, so let's take a look at some of these other options here. So frenit, what does that do? Basically the same thing. The difference is when you're sweeping along a helical path, such as a helix, that frenit mode will remove a lot of the extra twist that you're going to get with the standard mode. So you want to use frenit in those cases. Let's hide this body and show an example of that. Create a new body, a new sketch. And I'll use again a triangle. Make this side vertical. Then we'll go to part. And we'll add a helix. And back to part design. Select the helix, create a shape binder. So we'll be accessing the shape binder inside the body, which will be referencing the helix outside the body. We should not try to access the helix because it's not a body object. It's not a part design object. So we use the shape binder as kind of a go-between. We can still modify these properties. Okay, the radius actually doesn't really matter when you're sweeping. Now let's map to the shape binder if we can. difficult to see. I'm going to need to make that helix much larger. Alright. Let's see if we can do this sweep now. I think our helix needs smaller pitch. Yeah, we want something that looks kind of like a thread. Well, we get what I said about the helix radius not mattering. Obviously it does. Now, when you're making like a thread using this technique, you need to make sure that your profile is not taller than your pitch, or else you get self-intersections. As it goes around, it's intersecting the previous run through, and that's a big no-no. So typically you would make it just a little bit smaller than the pitch. So if you're doing a pitch of 1.0, maybe you would do 0.99 or something as your height. If you're getting a self-intersection. And if we don't use printed mode, we get a bunch of twisting around. So the printed mode prevents some of those twistings. Alright, let's try another example. So we have an arc of ellipse. So now we've swept our profile along the arc of ellipse. And we have some options down here. Well, we didn't look at these options yet. Auxiliary and binormal. So what is that? Well, auxiliary lets you add an additional path that modifies the orientation of your section as it sweeps along the path. So let's do that. So we choose auxiliary, add edge. It's hard to see with this particular profile what's going on there. You see the leading edge, how it changes. There we are, we're getting a little bit of a twist. So it just lets you sort of fine tune the orientation of the profile as it sweeps along the path. It's not something that I've used, so I don't know really a whole lot about it, just that it's there and basically what it does. There's another option in here, binormal, and with this you set a direction vector, and that affects the orientation of your profile as it moves along. That one looks interesting. That's something you could experiment with. I really haven't wrapped my head around exactly how this binormal thing works, or the auxiliary either for that matter. I just kind of have a general idea. So let's look at this one, section transformation. Let's hide this body and add another one. So this will be a path. This time let's make a B-spline. Right. So a B-spline is an object that allows you to have a single line, single object with all these curves in it, and you modify it by moving these control circles. And my understanding is the radius of the circle actually determines the relative pull of that control point. But there's an interesting path. Let's create a sketch to sweep along that path. This time maybe a hexagon. And we'll set the map mode and print it in B. And let's do that sweep. Alright, now I'm going to delete that. And we'll show what that multi-section thing does for us. Let's create a second profile. So let's just sweep multiple profiles is what it's doing. So another one just a little bit bigger. We'll map it. Print it mode. We'll change the map path parameter to 0.75. So now we'll sweep both of these along that path and see what happens. That looks like a defect there. It's probably going to have some self-intersections. Let's go do a geometry check. No, no self-intersections. Infinite mode is not a good mode for this. Fix is almost certainly not, unless this is what you want. I wonder if that's valid. So you could possibly make like a tuba or a horn or something, maybe using a different path. Let's create a new sketch. This time a circle as a profile. And a larger circle. I wanted another body, not that one. I'm going to delete these two, create a new body. Alright, let's do these again. Could have deleted that other sweep. Alright, this time let's go to part. This is experimental. I haven't ever tried this spiral. And back in part design, we'll make another shape binder to that spiral. Alright, let's map this sketch. And the other. Print it in B. Probably will need to make this one the smaller one, huh? Let's put it back to 0. Let's see, put it to 0.25. And this one at 1. Alright, let's see what that does. Well, I can tell right away it's not liking it. Not liking it. A little more growth. Clearly this has a few issues. that big one as the main sketch and sweep it. Let me try adding a few more sections, or one more section. Well, I think you get the idea on this. I'm going to change that math parameter, that map path parameter, and then put it into this video. want to move this one a little bit further down. See what effect that has. Should probably be a little bit smaller. I don't know if this is a valid object or not. No, it's got some issues. It's really not something I've used, is multiple sections in a sweep. But if there comes a time when you're making something and you might need that capability, at least you'll know that it's there. Now, how hard is it to actually make it work successfully? I'm not really sure. Probably a B-spline instead of this spiral would be a little better. You have a little more control. That's going to be it for today. As always, thank you for watching and have a great day.